People still seem to think that she was 15 when she killed her mother. She was 23 years old.
Get the fuck out of here.
She was a month away from being 24 years old. Oh. Every single thing you've ever heard out of their mouths about this is a lie.
Oh, basically you're saying like she was a victim, but she wasn't a victim.
Well, this is the thing. Okay. So for all these years, we've been told this story of just massive abuse. She didn't need any of the things that were done to her. She has no long lasting effects, all of that. Correct?
Right.
That's a lie. That's all a lie. Oh. Every single thing you've ever heard out of their mouths about this is a lie.
Oh.
Even if you go and you talk to like Sheriff Arnott or the sheriff's department that was investigating it in the beginning, they're not happy with how this came out because they were going for a completely different story. They were going after a financial fraud story, long-term con that turned ugly.
Basically, her and her mother were scamming.
Yes. But in 2011, what changes the whole thing, and see, we only found this out this last year. We've had the medical records since 2017, 2018. We started getting them from Christy and Gypsy signing off on giving them to us. Mm-hmm. And see, the thing is we got thousands and thousands and thousands of those, and my medical staff went through them, but there was one piece missing, and that was the fact that she's saying there's no long-term effects. But in 2011, and she has now admitted this herself, that they did know about it, that they were informed about it, and that she has this. She has a chromosome disorder that she was born with. It is not from Dee Dee's side. It comes from Rod's side, and all four of his children have the facial markers for it.
I was gonna say her face look a bit slow.
Yeah, I've talked to just tons and tons of Munchausen by proxy experts. We've talked to psychologists. I've talked to investigators, and not a single one of them could give me a plausible explanation of what I was looking at, that this was Munchausen by proxy. We had our staff looking at all of this, and they're looking at it going, okay, these records look unremarkable, but she doesn't have any long-term effects. So then this all has to be untrue. But the thing is she does have long-term lasting effects. She does have eye problems. She did have ear problems. She did have feeding tube problems, feeding problems, failure to thrive. She was diagnosed with a muscular problem. They didn't figure it out until 2011.
Are you saying that her mother knew about this?
Yes. Her entire family knew about this.
It's kind of like when you have kids, you don't have money, you get on welfare, but you take it to a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. When we see the movie, it's like, oh my God, like how could her mother do that? And so when she turned around and killed her mom, it kind of made sense. But what always just kind of like really just kind of rubbed me the wrong way was like, why did she still end up going to jail?
Because people still seem to think that she was 15 when she killed her mother. She was 23 years old.
Get the fuck out of here.
She was a month away from being 24 years old. She had been in on the con for a very long time. My thought process, okay, so she's given me several different scenarios. And if you listen to her stories always just change, like depending on who she's talking to. It'll be the same exact tale of whatever it is, but it's got completely different details, or it happened at a different time, or there's something just wrong with that story, or she embellishes something. And so you're like, what is the truth in all of this? But if you look at it, you begin to uncover patterns of things that they say. So you can begin to see like, oh, I caught you there. Mm-hmm. That's where that is. Like, so first story she told me was that the first time she knew something wasn't right was at 5 years old, when she was supposed to have her first hearing test, and she got the first miracle ear in Louisiana at the time. Like they had never had a miracle ear hearing aid donation at that time. It was being, it was just now coming out at the time that she did this. This is a 5 years old. Her mom weaseled her way back into the hearing room with her because, they're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to keep the test, pure, right? But her mom kept telling them, oh, well, it's going to be, she gets really panicked if I'm not with her, da, 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 da. So then she literally, told her how to squeeze her hand to tell her what was a hearing test and what was not a hearing test. Hear that. If I squeeze this, you're going to hear it. And if I don't squeeze, you don't hear it. And so that was at 5 that she says that she started with that. Was she groomed to do this? For sure. Mm-hmm. But this is what this family does. It's a generational con. It's a generational thing with specifically the women in this family.
So Gypsy Rose's grandmother was doing all this shit too?
Yes, to her mother as well. Yes.